week 17 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few forwards I looked at off the wire this week. The first guy, G.G. Jackson of the Memphis Grizzlies. So G.G. Jackson, he's coming out of nowhere as the second-round pick for this Grizzly team. And he's playing great basketball, and they even gave him a 4-year extension here as G.G. Jackson. So right now he's on 1-game suspension, missing tonight's ball game is G.G. Jackson, but he's getting playing time. He's made the most of it, and like I said, he got a 4-year contract as well from this Memphis Grizzly team. So on the season for the second rounder in his rookie year, 10.1 points a game, 3.4 rebounds, 1.6 threes, and 43% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 14.3 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 2.1 threes, and 37% from the field. So right now, surprisingly, he's still out there in 71% of fantasy leagues. We know this Memphis Grizzly team, they're decimated by injuries, and they're out of it, obviously. So all these young guys can get opportunities to play and see what they can do. February 6th at the Knicks, 16 points, 5 boards, an assist, a steal, 2 blocks, 3 threes, 50% from the field. February 8th versus the Bulls, 27 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, a steal, 4 threes, 50% from the field. And February 10th at the Hornets, 16 points, a rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, 2 threes, 50% from the field. So right now, Jackson doing a little bit of everything, 3 or 4 categories he's bringing to fantasy owners. And like I mentioned, this team going nowhere this season, and these players are going to get opportunities with all the injuries and just being out of it. So right now, well, he's still out there, surprisingly, in 71% of fantasy leagues. He's definitely an ad this week. The next ad, Precious Achiuwa of the New York Knicks. So Precious Achiuwa, he's been getting a lot of playing time over the last few weeks with a lot of injuries on the Knicks team to Julius Randle and OG Anunoby. So right now available in 57% of fantasy leagues is Achiuwa, and he's been a starter now over the last week and a half. 7.5 points a game, 5.9 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 49% from the field. So in that OG deal, he pretty much was a throw-in to match salaries, and he stepped up in a big way for this Knicks team, where they've been decimated by injuries. Like I mentioned, the last couple weeks, 13.4 points a game, 8.7 rebounds, and assists, 1.3 steals, 1.6 blocks, and 55% from the field. Right now, Achiuwa, he's bringing fantasy on his 3 or 4 categories pretty easily. Field goal percentage, shot blocking, rebounding, and even scoring the basketball at a decent clip. February 6th versus Memphis, 17 points, 5 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, a 3, 61% from the field. February 8th versus Dallas, 13 points, 16 boards, 3 assists, a block, a 3, 66% from the field. Then February 10th versus the Pacers, 15 points, 6 boards, 2 steals, 3 blocks, a 3, 100% from the field. So with Joey, he's playing 35, 40 minutes a game easily over the last few weeks for this Knicks team. Julius Randle at minimum, I think he'll be out at least 2 or 3 more weeks for New York. So right now, while he's playing major minutes, it's Precious Achiuwa, and Tom Thibodeau actually has some confidence in him that he could go out there and put up numbers and help this Knicks team. He definitely could go out there and help fantasy owners as well, like he has over the last few weeks. And definitely an ad this week. The next ad, Harrison Barnes of the Sacramento Kings. So Barnes, he's been on the list a whole lot over the last few weeks, and he's getting major minutes the whole season. He's the veteran Barnes. Available right now, still in 57% of fantasy leagues. And if you need some scoring and 3-point shooting with a good field goal, that's what he's going to give on is 12.1 points a game, 2.9 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 1.9 threes, and 47% from the field here. In the last couple weeks, 13.4 points a game, 2.6 boards, and assists, 2 threes, 45% from the field. So Harrison Barnes, he's that type of player. Like I said, there'll be good ups and downs with Barnes, where some games he'll go out there and score 25, 30 points, and some games he'll score from that 12 to 15-point range. February 7th versus Detroit, 8 points, 4 boards, a steal, 40% from the field. February 9th versus Denver, 9 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, a steal, 2 threes, 50% from the field. And February 11th at the Thunder, 14 points, a rebound, a 3, 57% from the field. So like I said, Barnes, he's playing major minutes for the most part, 25, 30 minutes a game for this Sacramento King team. And if you need 3-point shooting and scoring on most nights, that's what he's going to bring on. Is everything else he pretty much doesn't do, but he's still a decent contributor, I believe, in deeper leagues. The next ad's Kelly Olynyk of the Toronto Raptors. So Olynyk just traded to the Raptors at the deadline, and he's going to get good playing time, I believe, for this Raptor team. On the year, 8.2 points a game, 5.1 rebounds, 4.4 assists, and 55% from the field. So Olynyk, another play that could bring 2 or 3 categories minimum to fantasy owners. And like I said, this Raptor team went out there and gave a first-round pick in a deal for Olynyk, so they're going to play him. And in his debut, February 10th versus Cleveland, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, a block, a 3, 40% in that one in 22 minutes played. So right now, Olynyk, we know he's been a decent center throughout his career. Going back to his Celtic days, going back with Utah over the last season and change, he's been pretty decent for that team. Right now, I think he can help fantasy owners. Shooting the three ball is a big man, rebounding the basketball, and he's always been a good passer at the basketball. So right now, with this Raptor team, they've traded a lot of pieces this season. OG Anunoby, they traded Pascal Siakam. So they've already, Dennis Schroeder, they've traded three of their main players in the lineup going into the year. And now those guys are gone, and guys like Olynyk, RJ Barrett, and Emmanuel quickly going to get opportunities to see what they could do with this Toronto Raptor team. So right now, with Olynyk getting traded to Toronto, and like I said, they had to give up a first-round pick to get him. He's going to get playing time, and I think he helped fantasy owners right now. Available in 73% of fantasy leagues. And the fifth and final forward I looked at off the wire is Dillon Brooks of the Houston Rockets. So surprisingly, Brooks, he's out there in tons of fantasy leagues now with 64% on the year, 13.9 points a game, 3.3 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 1.9 threes, and 45% from the field. So Dillon Brooks, he was a good offseason signing, taking him from the Memphis Grizzlies with this Rocket team. We know he prides himself on defense, but he could score the basketball, and he could give you a few categories. Last few games, February 6th at the Pacers, 23 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, a steal, 3 threes, 53% from the field. February 9th at Toronto, 20 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 4 threes, 46% from the field. And February 10th at Atlanta, 14 points, a rebound, an assist, 2 threes, 26% from the field. So right now, Dillon Brooks, he's getting major minutes, obviously, 30, 35 minutes a game. We know he's been an up-and-down scorer throughout his career, but right now, still one of the better players, I believe, on this Houston Rocket team. And he's getting anywhere from 15 to 20 attempts over the last few games, especially since VanVleet has been out, even though VanVleet possibly earned any game now. But right now, while Dillon Brooks is playing good basketball and putting up numbers, he's a forward ad this week. So that's a few forwards I looked at off the wire for Week 17 of the fantasy basketball season.